This is the Sony FX2. This sits between the FX30 and the FX3. This is Sony's full-frame answer to the entry-level cinema camera market. Though entry-level, this benefits from being the newest, so there are some things on here we would wish upon even the FX3. The FX2 comes in a very familiar body, the same body we've gotten accustomed to as the FX3 and FX30, except here on the 2, it's got a few twists, and it's not just the EVF.
The grip, for example, is much deeper on the FX2. You can already see that it's deeper, but it might be something you'll miss unless you're specifically looking for it. In the hand, however, it's something you'll most definitely feel. There's a few changes in layout as well. The pair of mounting threads to the left of the top plate is now a single 1/4 inch. Some controls on the back plate have also been moved around to accommodate the EVF. Power switch is a bit more inset, and the mode button now shares a spot with the function button. There's also a new home button, but we'll get to that in just a bit. The numbers for video are familiar to what we've seen in the Alpha 7 Mark IV, so it's full frame 4K up to 30p, and this is super sampled from a 7K readout. For 50 and 60p, it's a Super 35 image area from a 4.6K readout. But unlike the 7 Mark IV, this has perks of being a cinema line camera, meaning the Cine-EI workflow is available for exposing S-Log with a dual native ISO of 800 low and 4000 high. There's no S&Q mode on the FX2 because that gets replaced by a variable frame rate menu, which lets you undercrank to a frame rate as low as 1 FPS.
We didn't shoot this in order, so here are my actual first impressions on the FX2. I've held this for 2 minutes, I'm still at 2 minutes. 90-degree EVF, non-detachable. You've got your C7 button over here, so that's one extra custom button that's assignable. The model badge is quite a bit more discreet. It's now on this corner now, instead of back here, because this is where the hinge for the EVF is. Another big hardware change, there's a movie and stills toggle on a cinema camera. Bit out of place, but considering this has a 33 megapixel sensor and a mechanical shutter, that makes a bit of sense. This has been completely relayed out. This flap here is the full-size HDMI port. This is no longer a flap, this doesn't open. This is your USB ports, and you have plug-in power here, your audio inputs and outputs both down here. On the bottom, you have 2 1/4 inch threads, no 3/8 inch threads, probably too small of a body to fit a 3/8 inch thread on here. We've got 2 of these so they don't spin around on your base plate. You could double lock these. And the vent is a bit more ventilated now. I suppose it's a bit more effective when the fan runs and you have the screen closed. It still is able to cool it. It's a different design. Dual card slots. Slot 1 takes both CF-Express Type A and SD. Slot 2 takes only SDs. We got the vertical menu going on, which we first saw on the ZV-E10 Mark II, and, oops, accidentally rolled it there, we have a brand new home button here. So what this does, if you give it one press, this is the same sort of home screen layout you get on the Venice and Murano cameras.
The idea is, if you rig this up with something like a Cineback, the integrated screen would be flipped out and to the side to serve as a camera assistance display. They could then tap on any setting, which will shortcut to the corresponding menu for tweaking that setting.
The EVF is really quite nice. It's not detachable, but this eye cup here, you could flip it left and right depending on which eye you prefer to use it on.
Just like the FX3 and 30, this can be compatible with external timecode with the VMC BNC M1 adapter cable.
So that's been a really quick look at the brand new Sony FX2. Do let me know what you think about this camera down in the comments. Are these differences in the hardware something you'd appreciate? Is this something you'd be looking forward to getting? Or are you just gonna save up a bit more and go straight for the FX3? That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you around.